if you're getting these Pango games where nobody finds a way to counter the role, Pango's going to very quickly become a top pick in the meta again.
Yeah, absolutely is. And OG, they're going to meet LGD here. Jin walks up to the staircase. The Fortune's End into raises. And close in on the Primal Beast. The Onslaught gets the distance. The Sunstrike, though, it'll connect and kill him. BZM with first blood, and OG, good start here to game 2.
He was out of there if not for that Sunstrike. Amar really did not want to level up Gush, and he's got the Nature's Prophet lane, so I definitely agree with the decision to go for the Anchor Smash there. And fortunately for OG, they land the Sunstrike and still get the first blood, and almost dream case outcome, like your mid laner gets the first blood.
Yeah, this is a mid laner who rushes Midas. Now we've seen this shift, like I was saying, more Exort Invoker, more Hand of Midas first item, and before boots, before Bassi, before anything, just mantle, bit of regen, get that Midas going, get your levels flowing into the Invoker. There's OG, moving down towards bottom runes, trying to gather up as many as they possibly can. Still going to be the 2 for 2 though, as LGD were able to reclaim a bit of territory up top.
Try and poke their nose back in, but Misha taking a lot of harass. A little bit interesting, the Tiny's actually being relegated to 5 position here with Misha on Tiny and Tiger playing the Oracle. Perhaps just for the lanes. I mean, it's, we've talked about it a lot. You want your melee support with your ranged carries, the SFs and Morphlings, then you want your range support with these melee offlaners. So that's really the reason behind it. But a lot of the time we're seeing 4s and 5s, swap lanes. But this time they're actually swapping heroes.
Yeah, good point.
Ooh,
attempt from BZM. Yeah, good deny there. Both looking at the Sunstrike to secure range creeps. Yep. Age-old tactic.
Nothing to say, we'll get his last hits too, so definitely a mid lane where you're not necessarily expecting any action. There's nothing to say misses his shield crash to get his range creeps. So both mid lane is not getting the range creeps, but there is going to be a lot of harass potential from an Exile Invoker, particularly when these Forward Spirits come out. You can keep nothing to say away from the lane a bit.
Yeah, especially being able to guard runes. Maybe with a rotation from Tiny or the Oracle. We'll see if that comes into play a little later on. Yeah, you were talking about these melee supports with ranged carries. And the bottom lane for LGD, double range though. They've got Shadow Wave with a Treants being a pretty nice combo. But how does this play out for Y? Is he just in a 1v1 against Oracle while Prophet 1v1's tied?
I mean, yeah, for LGD, they don't really want 2 separate 1v1s. They'd rather the 2v2s because that's where you're getting value out of, the Poison Touch. You can keep reapplying it. You can get all these right clicks off, and yeah. We'll see how things pan out for Amar, who's got definitely a tough lane, but with the Ring of Protection, the early Anchor Smash, and very likely a point in Kraken Shell coming early, I do expect him to still get good farm down here.
I should have a solid time. And Tiger, a lot of focus onto trying to bring down these Treants, remove a bit of the pressure from LGD in their lane. I keep peeking into mid where nothing to say. We're dropping lower and lower, but he's got his bottle now. As it looks like a Water Rune picked up and a Water Rune denied by BZM is going to remove at least the refill potential there for the Pango.
Yeah, it's nice with when you've got the Forward Spirits, you can try and control both runes. Even without a bottle, BZM wants to deny them from nothing to say and force him to go grab like a 3-minute bounty rune. It's just kind of like this inefficient play that, Invoker's going to get a couple extra last hits and denies if he has to go grab a bounty rune for the bottle refill.
Yeah, looks all safe and sound bottom. No real aggression. Top lane, Misha and Jin just having a bit of a back and forth. Both of the strength supports getting some punches in. But LGD in a good lane space here, a bit closer to their tier 1. Does give them the opportunity to maybe get on top of Uragi. But for now, it's just calm farming time from both teams.
Yeah, I don't think either side's really aggressively looking for kills in these lanes. Outside of maybe PSG.LGD with their safe lane. Like, the Dazzle always has that kind of kill threat if you can get Poison Touch on top of someone, but so far that's not really been the case, and now going in on the SF top, yeah.
Yeah, Jin-Q's level 2, but they've got the toss back. Misha, this position 5 Tiny. A little bit of a counter against the initiation from the Primal Beast. But Uragi did take a tremendous amount of damage and needs to get these tangos going just to stay in the lane.
Yeah, that was a level 3 timing. They were waiting to have the double Spirit Siphon. Doesn't feel good to use your 1 Spirit Siphon charge and then it goes on cold and they get the toss back into the tower. Jin-Q has to onslaught out of there.
Yeah, he's in, he's out. And pressure is on OG. This is now Faith Bian pretty much back to free farming. 7 denies, 12 last hits, equal with the Shadow Fiend. Both of them are very focused on clicking each other rather than the creeps in the first 4 minutes here.
Yeah, no real losers yet of this laning stage. No one's suffering too much. Obviously, Invoker, I think, the happiest with the first blood and having a good lane, doing a good job of trying to deny some of these runes. He forces nothing to say to, like, preemptively go to the rune to get it as it spawns. Otherwise, it gets nice. He gets himself a double water rune, in fact, so nice little move from him. But at the same time, Invoker's like, you know, he'd like to deny these runes, but he's not. As long as he's getting farm, he's okay with Pengalier, you know, doing his thing.
Yeah, it's kind of keeping Pango away from the creep wave, but forcing him to drag it around while top again. Primal Beast and the Death Prophet uproar to slow them on their retreat, but the raises from Yuragi, nice dodge on the Sunstrike. Jinkyu, he knew it was coming. The call from the Pango is that Invoker has lifted his arms, so the Sunstrike was on its way somewhere.
Yeah, good communication, and BZM, while all that was going on, perhaps he got pretty low. He maybe was watching top lane a bit too much, and nothing to say. Once he hits level 6, there is that kill potential in mid with Wise Dazzle rotating in. They're looking for it pre-level 6 even, and they're going to get it.
Yeah, very nicely done. Why? Close to death, but he had that wand pretty full and a fairy fire. Keep himself alive, even though he is blocked in with the creeps. Come on, nothing to say. Get me out of here, please. An Oracle, TPing in, just going to kill off Y. Y wants to die. It's time to die.
Oh, maybe he didn't see the TP in the trees? Not entirely sure. But, like you say, dying almost feels better for him. He's so low in health, he can't really do a whole lot there. He gets some damage onto the tower with the Siege Wagon. Not anything crazy, but at least a good rotation nonetheless.
Yeah, probably a case of knowing that Oracle was missing, and either he's coming through the river bottom or he's TPing mid, one way or the other. Y was probably going to die there, so his TP's back for the bottle refill.
Oh, Rolling Thunder mid.
Yeah, going straight onto this Invoker, looking for 2 kills in quick succession. Even bringing Arme in here, but the Cold Snap and the Ice Wall holding LGD away for now. But in comes the Pango, crashing again onto the Invo as the Nature's Prophet tossed around, being burst down. The grave comes from Y, the save, and the reinitiation from Jinkyu as Arme just TP's home. Tiger, he's got to high ground, but nothing to say. Bridges that gap easily, and we'll find the Oracle here. The Fortune's End just delaying things a little bit longer, though. Oh, Tiger. Can he get out? He's got a Fairy Fire. I think LGD have to give up on this.
He dodges
the swash, so he gets away from it.
Okay. Nice little small redeeming factor for what was a pretty bad team fight. The Invoker with the TP death, like you die, you TP and you die again, is one of the worst things as a mid laner. And that's what PSG.LGD know. That's why they're willing to rotate in Nature's Prophet. There's no guarantee Ame lives there. He gets a really nice grave from Y to keep him alive and get his TP out, but he's willing to die to kill the Invoker because he knows Invoker's life is worth more than his when he's just been brought down a few seconds previously.
Especially when he's rushing this Hand of Midas, right? This could have been a 7-minute Midas quite easily for BZM, but yeah, there's 2 kills, delaying things by at least a minute and a half, 2 minutes here on that timing.
They give him a decent amount of room down bottom to continue his farm and really start pressuring this lane and getting the tower down a little bit, but I think they're okay with that. They're not too worried about what the Tide can do. There's not really any amount of farm that really scares you on a Tide Hunter.
It always catches me off guard when I click Amar and he's got Satanic in his sticky buy. What's he up to? Oh, that's always that. He's done it before, but I'm not sure this is the place, time, or the game to go for the right-click Tide.
We'll see how things develop, but yeah,
okay.
It could be.
okay, gods.
I don't know. It's a Mario we're talking about. He's thinking Deso. He's thinking, yeah, Satanic.
Trust in the process. A lot of damage to Jinkyu, but they've got this Fate's Edict, blocking all of that magic damage from the trample. That's a nice little move that Tiger can make onto these people being jumped by the onslaught.
And PSG.LGD, you know, having their cake and eating it too. They're pushing top, they're pushing mid. They use the first exorcism to bring down the tier 1 mid with the Nature's Prophet rotation, and this mid tower has gotten very low as well.
Yeah, Jinkyu may have stepped a little too far forward. Tiger there again, saving himself with the Edict, but Tiny caught out along with the Shadow Fiend. Faith Bian has herded Yuragi back into LGD, trying to pin down the SF and the Swashbuckle. Nothing to say, shuts him down. The Grave would have saved him from the Sunstrike if it had landed. And LGD, they keep themselves sustained for that continual aggression.
Oh, And they clear out the creep wave here. With their own creep wave coming, they're going to get some more poke damage on this tier 1 mid, but it doesn't look like they want to prioritize it just yet. Faith.Beyond will stick around. With the rest of the team venturing into this dire jungle, seeing what they can find.
Oh, Misha. He might be able to scout them here. Yeah, the high ground ward, I think, caught a glimpse of nothing to say, so BZM back behind his tier 2 at the top lane. Misha still edging around the trees, trying to scout people out. Well, back into mid. Faith.Beyond, 40 seconds more for the Exo to come off cooldown. They've still got a pretty low tier 1 tower here to focus in on.
I think that they'd love to get this without Exorcism. They should be able to do so. Maybe just needing Rolling Thunder, which is still in cooldown as well, so... OG do have a couple of cooldowns that they could play around with LGD, not maybe being ready for a team fight, but they just don't have the farm or the items yet to take a fight. Invoker just with Midas, SF just with Treads. You know, Tidehunter is a bit of a slow hero when it comes to offlane play as well. He's just trying to pressure his lane. Things are not online yet for the OG side.
Yeah, nothing
Mar's
to
just
say.
dying bottom.
Yo, you're right, yeah. Amar dying to Faith.Beyond. I was looking at Yuragi. Yuragi dies to Ancients! Oh, no, gee. They're going to get a catch here with a Sunstrike,
nice
but the grave again from Y.
Soul coming. And he's going to regen rune too, so he's going to stick around. That was just so well kind of anticipated from LGD, and they're coming scouting out the Ancient Sack. They're going to now get to farm this one.
Oh, no. Well, depending what your perspective is, oh, yes, for LGD.
Come on, Gareth, buy us Casa. What's this?
Yeah, my apologies. I just really feel for Yuragi.
No,
farming Ancients dying like that and everything being stolen. But LGD with some really, really nice movements here into the enemy Ancient area.
Yeah, they went back in.
He's going to pay for this, though, it looks like. Gets off a grave and a heal, and he's full HP again, in fact. The shallow grave with a heal amp, having a full wand and a level 2 shadow wave. It's enough.
Raiding the enemy jungle alone is XinQ. Is he thinking of some kind of pulverized solo kill? Not sure. He's got the damage for the Invoker who's under tower here. What an aggressive move from him, though.
I'm just thinking back on this Nature's Prophet position 1. We saw him a bit at Arlington, right? But the first couple of days of groups, he was, I don't know, he was like,
Cancel.
I mean, XinQ's gonna get turned on. Wrath of Nature's
we're
a lot
ready
of
for
damage. And a Pulverize, I mean, is LGD coming in to play around him? The Sunstrike misses, so XinQ survives. And now the turnaround play with a Poison Touch and the Uproar, slowing down Misha, allowing for the Swash to land.
Somehow LGD even make the flubbed plays work and look good. like that was so bold from XinQ going for a solo play in the enemy jungle, playing around the Nature's Prophet ultimate to try and get some kind of a solo kill. He gets caught on the initiation, and they still turn it into a tiny kill. Like, he sidesteps the Sunstrike. He preemptively cancels Pulverize just to dodge Sunstrike. Is just, honestly, so impressive.
But yeah, this Nature's Prophet, thinking back to Arlington, this Hand of Midas build, we saw it a fair amount. I think RTZ comes to mind, where he was like 0-4, 0-5 on the hero with an item in the group stage. What's the difference here? You know, why does Arme feel so comfortable going back for the Prophet in the draft and then the Hand of Midas in the game?
I think for LGD, it just fits their overall strategy of playing fast and punishing OG's greed. Like, again, they saw this very greedy draft with SF, Invoker, and Tidehunter. It's just like a perfect case where you want to play. You've already got Death Prophet and Dazzle and Primal Beast. Like, you've got these heroes that want to run at the enemy. Pick a carry that plays around that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And into Roche they go. Exo, the Treants, damaging and tanking up Roshan for Arme to click away at him. Who did this go to? I mean, giving it to the Prophet seems like the logical choice, but I could easily see arguments made for nothing to say to take it.
Yeah, I think probably just I was going to say probably the Prophet, but you're right. It is nothing to say. There's definitely an argument for it, and he's playing more on the front lines, whereas Arme's farming some of these side lanes. Maybe he can play around his buyback teleportation as well, so it is going to be Pengo.
I mean, Arme is going to farm out top, farm out in his Ancients, stay off map and hidden by the fog for a while. PSG.LGD trying to connect in with XinQ down in the bottom lane. Well, OG have made a small smoke of their own. Looks like Tiger and Misha wanting to get a bit more control of that top jungle with some vision coverage here so they can force fights around their outpost.
I think maybe they're thinking they can kill Nature's Prophet too with a Sunstrike. He TP's out just in time on Ame. They even ping it, so I think they caught a glimpse of how close they were to getting the kill. They'll still get the lane ward down in the top lane, but I think OG were hoping to hunt down a core there. They're being pretty sneaky about it, like showing all their other cores on the map, like 2 supports plus a Sunstrike can kill Ame.
Yeah, that's true. Ame, some stacks waiting for him. Large camp cleared, Ancients to work on, and Gleipnir not too far away anymore. So even more control. Try and catch on to these squishier targets of OG.
Yeah, he's getting very, very farmed. And the entire LGD side, the 3 cores, well on top of the net worth. Similar story to last game, and just making all the right moves. Even like the supports like Xingqiu and his Primal Beast, getting some room to get some farm to start working towards his own BKB.
The line is being drawn. OG have a good read of this, knowing that LGD just showed in the mid lane. Natural movement for them is into that top jungle. There's an outpost there for OG to hold on to, but it looks like they are pretty content pushing out the side lanes, returning back to mid to gather up their forces.
Yep. LGD have just been waiting for Exo. It was on cooldown, and now it's back up, so I think we'll see them push out top and mid and likely connect at this top lane to take the tier 2 tower. But now though, they are, they are playing more greedy. They're farming the Nature's Prophet. I mean, Nature's Prophet can farm anywhere and join up, but Xingqiu's Primal Beast being down this bottom lane suggests that they want to try find some pickoffs down here.
All right, try and play into him. They're TPing bottom outpost. Xingqiu sees Tiger. Thinking about it. The onslaught cancelled out. And meanwhile, Faith Bian runs straight in towards Misha.
ECM's caught as well.
Do they
Any
have
detection?
reveal? And detection for him. Doesn't look like
They're
it.
chain
Nothing
stunning
to say,
him.
just blindly stunning and chain disabling the Invoker while Amar trapped inside the Sprout, silenced up for now. But he is away from there, still holding 17-1 charges, but he's gonna have to use them to survive against the Pango and the Wrath of Nature.
I was just about to say, I think that's actually decent for OG, but losing Amar there, perhaps not going to feel as good. But Exorcism being used for like a small fight that only gets a kill or 2, as opposed to taking a tier 2 tower, is actually okay for OG in the grand scheme of things. But losing Amar, I think, is going to swing things in the favor of LGD, who still have themselves a pretty sizable gold lead. Similar story to last game. This first Roach, a bit more of a farming Aegis, a bit more of one to just take these out of towers, control most of the map, take farm away from the enemy, and then build up this big gold lead to really hit this power spike around Roach number 2.
It's just kind of hard to see where OG are going to be coming from in these fights, because there's a catch on nothing to say. Misha, they take the Aegis down. LGD not chasing up high ground. They don't have the vision there, so they'll try and back away now. Yeah, I was just looking at this thinking OG supports are both very poor, and I don't know. I don't see Misha buying Blink anytime soon. Tiger on an Oracle doesn't really have a key item to go for. Tied with no Blink means no initiation, so is it really going to come down to like Uragi with his BKB that's the big difference maker for OG?
It almost has to in many ways, but yeah, not having a Blink initiator, your Tiny is not getting one anytime soon. He's maxed out the toss, but how does he get into to use a toss back? It's
the
something
Windlace.
OG. Yeah, they just can't play around it.
Oh, 2 supports scouted out and rolled on. Nothing to say. Comes crashing down on their heads and pulverized the Oracle with a good shield crash over towards Tiny. Misha getting caught up here by Faith Bian, and nothing to say. 2 quick kills for them while they're still out on the map. Ame pushing out top. Looks like he's TPing in towards mid to catch out Amar. The Turd Hunter dead for 30 seconds.
And being able to play like this aggressive, let's just keep hunting for kills style of Dota with a Nature's Prophet means, Nature's Prophet's just farming all over the map with a Midas. His net worth is like insanely high right now, way above all of the OG cores. And that's just going to remain the case as long as he's got this Midas and ability to farm the map and not even really join fights. He's 1-0-4, and I feel like half of that involvement is just throwing his ultimate.
Yeah, because usually 20 minutes in, 11k net worth is good. 12k net worth is very good. 13k is kind of excellent. This guy is going to have, 15,000 net worth going into 20 minutes or something? He's record-breaking, exceptional game from the Prophet here.
Great Sunstrike. Gets the last hit on the creep. Well done, BZM.
You take what you can get on this kind of map.
I gotta be a bit biased for OG as well here, you know. I was gonna say hoping for that game 3, but oh wait, it's best of 2.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm just hoping for some ties in the group stage. You know, if everything goes 1-1, we get more games, more tiebreakers, more Dota 2 action here for TI.
Yeah, I didn't see the LGD games yesterday because there were so many games going on, but this just feels like classic LGD. They're such a fun team to watch when everything's clicking. The kind of aggressive style that they play, and they're doing a great job punishing OG's more passive farming style.
Yeah, a single hero shows. Tiger going to be the target. Swashbuckled down again by the Pango. But I absolutely agree. I didn't catch any of the games, just seeing the score lines, a couple of the drafts. If you look at this series against OG and then look back to day 1, you're thinking, what happened? What happened day 1? This is LGD on form. They're looking perfect.
Another catch. Lamar. He's the one who's farming the dangerous parts of the map and just constantly being found and hunted. Doesn't really want to ravage.
He's tanky and annoying. Cutting through trees and pig-poling away.
Okay.
They've got another onslaught in 3 seconds along with a trample, so he'll ravage now as Misha dies to Faith Bian, but in comes the onslaught trample, and Jinkyu finds the takedown. It looked like Tiger was considering the false promise on the tide, but now with the Gleipnir catch from Arme, they'll bring him down as well. 3 quick kills again from LGD, and it's just non-stop slaughtering of the OG lineup here.
Poor Amar, he's thinking like, oh, I'm going to die anyways, let's not use Ravage. And then finally he's like, oh, I'm going to live, let's use Ravage. And, oh, sure enough, still goes down. Just nothing they can do. How far ahead LGD are getting and the kind of tempo they're playing at. They've got this great catch that the Primal Beast brings to the table, even out of the support role. And with Faith Beyond, his Death Prophet having Exorcism combined with a Nature's Prophet, these towers just drop.
Yeah, they've not really spent too much either. They've got BKB Exo on Faith Beyond. Onslaught in behind the tier 2 and the tree line there. They were expecting OG to be lurking in the shadows and waiting for a fight. Nothing to be found though.
Invoker dropped a meatball, but he backed off as soon as he did, so not quite the connection they were hoping for, but they'll get the outer tower nonetheless, and now they get to kind of sweep through the jungle, farm everything out, and start making their way, I think, towards this top part of the map. Roshan is back.
And Arme's going to have an AC in the next couple of minutes.
Oh boy.
It's 16 grand. Oh, what an absolute monster. Yeah, TP and top is just, ping-ponging back from top lane to Ancients, keeping that farm rate up. And in fact, what's 740 GPM? Not a spectacular number, but for 22 minutes into the game, it's pretty freaking good.
Just gotta be careful. OG have smoked us 5. This is their big teamfight opportunity.
And they come in contact with the DP and blow up Faith Beyond, but look at that trample. The damage of the Tiger clears him up. Oracle's dead. As Uraga with his BKB turns, but the Grave onto Jinkyu allows him to potentially TP home here.
BKB TP, and he's out of there. Roshan is alive. I don't know if OG have the ability to take this one. The SF damage is decent, but he hasn't got the Mask of Madness, and I think more importantly, LGD are ready to take a fight. Even without Death Prophet, they're going to have a Rolling Thunder in the pit, so OG have to back off, but they seem to want to stick around. They still have Ravage. Well, they will have Ravage up in 8 seconds time, so a potential Roche fight could look good for OG.
Still got that double observer board there. Plenty of vision to play in towards the pit. I've got lanes to maintain though. Uragi up top. That's in BZM down bot.
LGD may just walk into the pit here. They see so many OG heroes on the map, it's very safe to do so. And if they can hold on to Exorcism, it means they'll have the Aegis and probably 2 Exorcisms to use during the Aegis timer.
And whose shard is this? Just give it to DP?
They've already got Pingo, it looks like Death Prophet, unless... I don't think
Dazzle?
Nature's Prophet.
Dazzle's pretty good.
Okay.
Let's see. Shard on the ground. Faith Beyond
Prophet, yeah.
belongs to him, so that fear from the Spirit Siphon.
Shut. He's been down.
Yeah. And Gleipnir nets him up. Onslaught to cancel the TP. Kill the Tiny. At least a bit of room bottom for OG, though, knowing that LGD have amassed everybody up top. They get a deep ward down, keep farming through that bottom jungle, and a little bit of pressure on the tier 2.
I feel like OG, they found this Philosopher's Stone and they're keeping on Tiger. I'd almost like to see it pass over to the Tiny. I think this Blink Dagger is going to be a key ingredient for their high ground defense. It does feel like that's where the direction this game is headed with how big of a lead LGD has got. And Tiny, 800 gold. He's pretty far from Blink Dagger, but something like a Philosopher's Stone could make a difference.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. These two very poor supports. Okay, if the Oracle buys a Ghost Scepter, he can buy space. Ame. Yeah, 1v2, turning and fighting. And a Rainbow TP situation from LGD, all coming down here onto the outpost to help out their Prophet. Tiger so close to death, but he'll TP successfully back to Fountain. While BZM tucks into the trees. And it looks like Amar went in behind to try and cut some waves as well.
He's sending the... Yeah, Wraith Pack TP out. I guess he's just doing some cheeky little plays. Didn't really achieve a whole lot. Chipped away at the creep wave, but didn't actually bring it down.
They're even scanning and looking for him. Where's this sneaky fella? Not to be found. But yeah, the role swap or the hero swap between Misha and Tiger doesn't seem to have worked out this game. And it also feels like Oracle hasn't had that much impact in this match without a real hero to put the false promise on. BZM gonna TP out of bottom. Ame stuck around, and the 5 members of LGD are stampeding in towards that tier 2 bot area. They've already claimed the tower, so now it's time to claim some kills. Why? Walking high ground, gets Avatos back into Yuragi. Good pick off on the Dazzle, but what can they make off the back of it? Amar and Yuragi coming down the staircase. Sun striking forward to try and scout and give vision. Jinkyu, he meets Misha, BKBs and pulverizes, and now they've got the DP ult with the Pango roll. Back in towards the Tiny. Look to blow up Misha here and catch onto Tiger. Both supports the targets here for the Gleipnir of Arme, as they will swiftly move in to kill off the Squishies. Nothing to say. He's even in the back lines aiming for BZM.
He's zoning out the entire backline. Didn't have any follow-up damage, so wasn't really close to getting any kills there, but doing a good job of landing his spells to guarantee those 2 quick and easy support kills. But with Exorcism wearing off, there's no real high ground play here to be made for LGD. They're going to have to back off, continue farming, continue building upon this lead. Like, even though OG had this kind of scary, stronger late game, if you're far enough ahead, it doesn't really matter how good a late game draft your opponents have if you've got like a 30, 40k gold lead.
Yeah. It must be devastating for the morale of OG here. I mean, game 1 was 31 to 9, 30